Hello, everybody. Welcome to the not very often played but always exciting Blades in the Dark. I'm joined as usual by. I was thinking about this. Okay, so you can see everybody. You recognize these skullduggerous faces by now. I was thinking about this on the during the countdown. I was like, everybody in this game is also writing a hack of Blades in the Dark, but then I'm like, I feel like probably at this point, everybody in the audience is writing a Blades in the Dark hack. Is it just everybody, just raise your hand if you're writing a Blades in the Dark hack. Everybody in chat? Yeah, everybody? Okay, good. So, yes, I am joined, of course, by Strash as Weird Boy, Oscar Skurlock, Sean as my arch nemesis, RC Keel. Sean, I have in my notes, I was looking back through, I was like, what happened last episode? The only note I could find was, Cantor Haggie's the best, RC sucks.
That's an awesome note.
Yeah,
That's it. They actually got along last session, but I'm sure by this time, Cantor has forgotten.
I will never forgive you for talking shit about me in front of the gang. That scene.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then
It's gonna be our downfall.
Our hopefully benevolent GM, John, who I would like to remind, I did not kill your characters in Old School Adventures. That was the other players. They did it, not me. So,
right, yeah.
So we're clear.
Sure, yeah. It was their orcs.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Man, friendly fire. I've got the VODs to prove it.
Weren't we just talking about how the gang transcends the gang members? You know, Cantor dying, that's no big.
I beg to differ, my friend. I beg to differ. So what are we doing today? Somebody remind me. I'm terrible. My memory is garbage.
2 sessions ago,
what happened?
we had a
Besides you spending all our money, Strash. I remember that.
Okay, as a point of note, we're about to make some because of that. As a matter of fact, we're about to make more than we probably should. 2 sessions ago, we had a vicious fight with the Red Sashes. Last session was mostly downtime. We spent some time healing, and then a ton of money got spent. I believe that the infamous Cantor started a long-term project.
I love your passive voice on that. Some money was spent.
Money was spent. Yeah.
I will point out that 1 coin was given to you for you to buy a super extra mega fancy coat, which then became an asset that lets you pose as a tier 2 person.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Also, I don't believe in giving people tiers like that, Strash. That's not very nice. I was always at least a tier 2 person on the inside. Now Cantor looks the part.
There you go.
Like they say, dress for the tier you are, not the tier. Or no,
the tier you want to be.
That's right. Yeah, I'm aspirational.
That's how that goes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, a bunch of our downtime actions got spent healing. But I know that Cantor began his wooing of his lady love captain.
That's right.
As a long-term project.
All about the woo.
I believe his exact words were, "I want to get what's her name to marry me."
That is correct.
I love her.
And you're not going to have children.
Sorry, Captain. What's her name?
Captain Linnea.
She has a rank. Captain. What's her name? Yeah, I got one tiny slice of that exclusive relationship pie, so I need to work on that.
Yeah. Hey, maybe she'll be there.
In terms of hello, Cat. But in terms of plot, we actually acquired assets. We acquired some super extra fine tattoo design patterns from calligraphers. We got you a coat. We got a fine invite to a party with an extra invite to a super exclusive party. And we're going to be flaunting some goods for hopefully a better clientele and making a score by selling stuff. So
that's what we sold all our money, or spent all our money on, right? Like all that gang stuff.
That is where a lot of it went, yeah.
Okay.
But we also got some bad news. Your uncle, Oscar's uncle, Lord Skurlock, came and did a little ensorcelment of our boys, and they're digging him cisterns and shit now. So where we do business has been infiltrated. So that's something to deal with eventually. That's an Oscar problem. And also our supplier.
I'm into that problem.
Yeah. You're into that problem?
It could be an Oscar problem. What else can we make Oscar problems so we can do other fun things that are not problems?
There was a guy snooping on us, which also turned out to be an Oscar problem.
Yeah.
There's lots of Oscar problems.
Hashtag Oscar problems.
The lack of the diversity and the people nominated probably is.
That's probably an Oscar's problem.
Big Oscar problem.
Yeah, nice. Bajo Baz wants to hobnobs with us. Wants our knobs to be hobbed. And our source, Harrington, who's the quartermaster on the Nightbreaker, got picked up. So we gotta schmooze a magistrate or get him out some other way.
I
So
think we should let him take
income.
our heat.
I think you should eat my shorts. But
Yep, fair. It's fair. Oh my god, somebody in Silio Neko in chat is working on a Roll20 character sheet for this game. I love you. I love you so much. Thank
You're
you.
the best, dude. Thank you so much.
As much fun as it
Awesome.
is waiting for time to optimize like hand-coded PDFs. Like, I know I gotta go in there and just fill all the fields in again. I tried to make a form-fillable PDF once. It's a nightmare. It's a goddamn nightmare.
It really
do
should be easy, but it's
really not.
It's just
yeah.
not.
if you design the whole thing in life cycle, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
But if you try to take an existing character sheet or something and make it form fillable.
Yeah, it was your Stars Without Number character sheets, John. I was like, oh, I need form fillable ones, and I'm like, yeah, sure. These are nice, clear boxes. Everything's nicely defined. Whatever, go for it, Adobe. And Adobe's like, I think you need a box here. I'm like, nope, that's a word. There's words
Yep.
right there. What are you doing, Adobe?
That's not where it goes at all.
So that'll be nice. Yeah, into it.
Yeah, filling out dots is not a fun thing in Adobe. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Standardized PDF testing.
A few other things happened. Flint, Oscar's rival, spirit trafficker, started snooping around Six Towers. Who knows why? We'll find out at some point.
Because he wants to get shot in the face is why.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
the fucking answer to that question.
Some people are just asking for it.
Yeah.
Overindulged with her vice and had to make an example of one of the gang members for losing respect for her and beat the crap out of Bricks to prove a point.
Yeah, Bricks is going to be laid up for a little while. Had to be done.
Yeah. And then we had a little chat about the next score, and we decided that playing out a masquerade party would be fun. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
At least for a part of it tonight. We'll see how long it takes, but
Yeah.
as long as we are having fun, probably.
Cool.
So one thing that we glossed over slightly, I went back and watched the previous video today, and we didn't really explicitly mention it, but just so it's clear, Cantor went out to, or Oscar kind of arranged it sort of, and then Cantor went out to like get some finery for the party to pass as a tier 2 person. And we really focused down on him getting fitted at Dungeons & Sons for a fine coat and everything, which is it's all true. That all happened. But because it's Cantor's obsession, we kind of forgot that the other part of that, getting the finery, getting the stuff to fool people, is that, you know, it's a fancy masquerade ball. So, like, you're going to have a nice, you know, mask if you want that kind of thing. And, you know, RC can get something to wear, too. And, like, it was feeding into Cantor's vice, so we really focused on the coat, but you have what you need to go to the party. It's not like it's just Cantor and you guys are like wearing rags or something.
I mean, I think you're wearing you look like garbage, both of you. You wouldn't know a fashion if it stabbed you in the face several times, but we'll pass. It's fine. The plebs can't tell the difference.
Yeah, their coats only have like 2 collars or 3 at the most.
Yeah, nested collars. It's the big thing now. Layers of them.
I remember that actually. That was a thing. You were counting tiers by collars, right?
I am unfolding like a beautiful rose. Yep, fashion. It's complicated.
Yeah, it's who knows what's going to be hot next. Maybe you can set the trend.
Yeah, totally. Carrying large weapons at parties is going to be the new trend. That'll be
Well,
bristling with firearms.
Speaking of carrying large weapons, you know, there's this rule that we haven't been paying that much attention to because we haven't been tracking what our inventory is. But since we're going to be going to this masquerade party,
It's going to matter tonight.
yeah, do you want to know what we're lugging and how we're concealing it?
Yeah, what's the concealment rating
So-
on my guns? How much
Yeah.
perception do they need to roll to detect them?
Exactly.
How does that work?
Yeah. So, yeah, the way it works normally is after you tell me what your plan is, I ask you to choose your load, which is to say you choose whether you're going to be lightly loaded, normally loaded, or heavy loaded. And that in turn determines how quick you are and also your outward appearance. So if you choose light, you just look like a normal citizen of Duskwall. If you choose normal, you look like some sort of operative. You are clearly armed, and you're potentially up to no good. Or are you just like a normal kind of underworld type? If you choose heavy, then you're like kitted out, in your stuff. Like you look like a commando or something. So if you
ironically, going commando though reduces your load.
It actually,
so it's weird how these things balance out.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. They cancel each other out, I guess. So by default, if you choose light as your load, you don't have to say ahead of time what exact things you're carrying. It's kind of like Adventure Gear and Dungeon World, where you are like, oh, I have 4 slots, or I have 6 slots, or whatever, and you can say what they are later. However, there are exceptions to that rule, which may happen tonight, and it's something you guys would know about, where it's possible to expect some security pat down or something like that. Since you're passing for nobility, you're probably not going to be actually physically searched.
Sure, but this would be one of those cases where, like, later, if we needed a gun, we could do like a flashback thing to be like, yeah, I snuck in here earlier and taped one under the table.
Exactly. Yes.
Fuck yes.
So
Love that shit.
Normally, just get to check your box and go like, oh, actually, I did bring my pistol. But if it's something you would have had to sneak in, then we will do a flashback, and you can say how you hit it in the potted plant or whatever. That's totally fine.
Yeah. So what do you envision demolition tools looking like, John?
I
out of curiosity.
Tell you.
Oh, they're in there now. I don't even have to ask.
They are. I don't remember right now what page they're in there.
No worries. I forgot.
Here we go. I just found them. Demolition tools: a sledgehammer and iron spikes, a heavy drill, and a crowbar.
Yeah. All right.
Just the kind of shit you casually bring to a party.
Inconspicuous shit.
Yeah, the kinds of things that fit inside an acoustic guitar. No problem.
Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. Really. So I'm going to assume you're all choosing light loadout, unless someone wants to go higher and explain why that's possible.
So the stuff for the items, some of them are in bold, some of them are italicized, and some of them are just regular type of a font.
Right. So italicized things don't count towards your load.
Yep.
So you can just assume to always have those if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And unless, again, if you're being actually searched, they might fall.
Sure.
Bold things are usually fine or better quality. They're like a nicer version of something. And then some things have 2 little connected boxes, and that means they take up more space.
Sure. Cool.
So we'll just assume light for everyone. And flashback if we need the flashback to RC having a sledgehammer under the table.
Yeah, I could have a fine trained hunting pet with me. It just makes me look extra baller.
Your falcon.
Yeah, this is my panther, Kanye. Don't look directly at him.
That is the greatest name for a panther of all time.
Thank you. I thought so. It's a Ruvian.
Just call it here, guys. Good game.
We got all the XPs. We're tier 5.
We peaked really way too early. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I keep forgetting to say this. Tonight I am using, or maybe using, my friend Andrew Shields has made this cool thing, the Blades in the Dark Duskwall Heist deck. Which is available on the Game Crafter right now, and also on Drive-Thru RPG. There's a digital-only version if you don't want to get the cards, although I highly recommend the cards. It's 90 cards, and they're like, one set is awesome NPCs on one side, and the other side is like cool treasures and stuff. And then the other set is all like weird security stuff and guards and ghosts. And cool. For this party, I have like 50 awesome Duskwall NPCs that Andrew created, and I already know a bunch of people that are going to be there, but if you just meet a random person at this party, I can like pull off a card and bam.
They're all vampires. It's the pile of vampires, isn't it? You're using the vampire deck.
Yeah, it's full. It's all the blue colored cards. Yeah, all the way down.
Vampire.
Put the links in chat to
yeah, that's really cool.
They're super cool. It's kind of funny to have like a supplement out before the game's officially released, but who cares?
Who cares? Fuck it.
It's really cool stuff. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Very good for
The digital version of it is it just like a PDF?
Yeah, it's like a
bunch of cards?
print and play kind of thing. And then the
Cool.
Game Crafter version is actually, the quality is surprisingly good. I'm thinking about doing some cards too, and I'm impressed. I've heard that drive-through
John,
cards,
the link doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
Yeah, bad link.
Oh no, bad link. All right, I'll fix it.
Oh, it's just that the two links are right next to each other. Yeah, because those I've seen some of those drive-through ones, and they were like they're okay. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they seemed all right, but these seem like a little better than all
That's
right.
Cool. Yeah, I was just thinking because the digital version, like I guess you could just screenshot them and put them into a deck and roll 20, and then just have it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Auto pull them. That's kind of cool.
That
Into
would
it.
also work. Yeah, because you can like do random stuff on like random pulls, right?
You can make a deck, and you can either choose cards or you can randomly grab them. Yeah, that's neat.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're pretty much going to jump right in.
Let's do it.
Classic Blaze in the Dark style. I will just put you guys in the situation, and you have flashbacks at your disposal for anything you need to flashback to. And otherwise, we're just going to get stuck in. There's a mechanic. We haven't actually used it a whole lot because you guys haven't been like pulling scores quite that much. But it's called the engagement roll, and it's a roll that kind of tells us when the heist starts, when the action starts, the score starts. Are you in a really good, dominant position? Are you in a really bad way? Or is it somewhere in between? It's another way of skipping a bunch of planning, because this roll kind of says, like, when you start out, everything's going great, or it's you're in trouble, or whatever. So we're gonna make that engagement roll. But to me, in this case, you tell me what you think about this, but I think the actual score starts when you go to the secret party. That's the real job, and
yes.
the preamble to that is going to like the official party, so we can sort of play out a little bit of the official party thing, and then start the score when you actually go to the real part.
I see. Yeah, the first party doesn't count. It's the after party that counts, and then it gets real in the hotel lobby, and then after that.
Normally you make the engagement roll at the very beginning, but I think we have a little bit of pre funk to do before we get there.
Into it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So if we look at the roll 20 backdrop, you will see the
So pretty.
see the venue that we are going to.
That hot map. Get your hideous dice out of here, John. Why did you roll 20 d6s?
I
Get out of
cleared
here.
them. I guess you have to clear it
I have to
yourself.
clear them too. I forgot.
So
about
don't
there.
why are you bitching at me? Come on. Get your shit together, Cantor. So this party is being held in Redstone, the arguably second nicest district in Westwall. Some would consider it the best. White Crown is thought to be like the fanciest area, because that's where the Lord Governor's house is, and the some of the official buildings and things. But not a lot of people actually live there. So, in terms of nobility, if you live in Brightstone, you're like top tier.
Yeah.
Brightstone is called that because, unlike the rest of Duskwall, which is all like gray bricks and stone, everything here is this white, marbly, big cut marble stone. That's very bright, bright white, and often has like inlaid silver or gold accents to it. The avenues are very broad. The canals are actually clean. They like have all these pumping systems that recirculate the water, so there's no muck on the top, and you can actually see like the bottom of the canal, like you're in Las Vegas, like you're in like the fake Venice, where you get like the water is like
Yeah, because actual Venice is gross as fuck.
yeah, actual Venice water is
Or actual Venice everywhere else.
yeah, but like it smell like the canal smells good here, and
They sent it? Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. And it's everything. The scale of everything is kind of off. Like even in Six Towers, it's very nice, but it's old, and so everything is kind of packed together, and the houses are very tall and vertical. And in Brightstone, they kind of sprawl out a little bit, and they have some gardens and gates and landscaping. And, so I like as you're walking down the avenue, you get that weird feeling of like, wow, it's taken a long time to get to over there. It seemed like the house was just right there, but it's like the scale of the squatness and the wideness of the street. Everything looked really weird. And the walk over there probably is a little bit like off-putting, maybe not to Oscar, but there's like there aren't crowds of people, there aren't vendor stalls, there aren't alleyways, and so you're just exposed like walking down these nice streets, and people are like strolling next to the canal, and there's blue coats that actually have clean uniforms that are like assigned to their posts.
They're actually blue.
They're actually blue.
And they nod at us as we pass instead of like fingering their batons and being like, oh yeah,
exactly.
you're in charge here.
Yeah, they like pull their little cap down and at a sign of respect, and they're not like holding someone underwater and emptying their pockets,
beating on people.
Yeah. And there's also kind of private security that you see. There's like stewards posted at gates wearing these long coats with like mail and helmets, and they have like a halberd, like these old-fashioned kind of ceremonial guard type things. A lot of the houses have those, including the Dunville house, which is where you're going. Dunville's built Iron Hook Prison. That's their claim to fame. They're the family that is known for. They built a lot of stuff in Duskwall, but they built the prison and have their old Duskwall money, even pre-Duskwall, old imperial family.
Cool.
And you're going on the. It's a festival day. None of you have probably celebrated this. Even maybe RC didn't back in her days as a noble, briefly. It's called Arkenvorn. It's a pretty popular holiday among the wealthy. Oscar's heard of it. I don't know. What do you think, Strauss? Have you been to an Arkenvorn party before, or is this your first?
This is the celebration of the creation of the Spirit Wardens.
Yeah.
I think I was probably curious one year.
So you have been to one?
Just one.
When you were you were a kid or something, like
yes.
Kind of like peeking over the railing, like at the adults having a party or something like that. Okay, cool.
Pretty much.
All right. It celebrates the creation of the Spirit Wardens. It's mainly a church thing. The Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh is the state religion, and the Spirit Wardens are most responsible for like destroying ghosts and cleansing vengeful spirits.
Who doesn't like a little flesh ecstasy now and then?
Yeah. It's people always go for the orgiastic side of it, which it definitely has, but they use ecstasy in the old sense.
What's that other one of the Church of the Weeping Baby or whatever? Man,
Weeping
whatever. Lady. They're the same. It sounds terrible. I don't want any part of that shit.
So so the church really venerates the body. It's the flesh that matters. The spirit is corrupted because when you die, your ghost goes crazy and kills people or possesses people.
Jesus, that would be horrifying. Like that means death is scary enough, but to be like, please don't die, please don't. Can you imagine being an EMT in that world? Like somebody dying of a gunshot wound, and you're like, please live, please. Oh God, they're dead. Run.
You've got some time, right?
Horrifying.
It usually takes 3 days for the ghost to rise. Yeah. Unless there's whispers present.
It usually takes 3 days, although the exact number is kind of random, so it's a little perilous.
Right.
But in this world, like the metaphysics are kind of reversed. Like most of our religions have the idea of the soul and the afterlife is kind of a positive thing. In this world, the church teaches that like something bad has happened to humans to make them have these ghosts like ghosts happen after you're dead. Like they're not really you; they're like an echo of your life that's corrupted or whatever.
They're like vampires in Buffy.
Exactly, that's a perfect example. Yeah, the demon, you die and the demon takes over your body. It's like that. Although, is that true in Buffy? I don't know. Maybe not.
It's the general teaching, I think.
That's a long, interesting story. But so the Spirit Wardens and the church are closely linked. The Spirit Wardens have a secret membership, so you don't know who's a Spirit Warden. They wear these bronze masks, and their identities are highly, highly secret. So on the day when they venerate them, they have these masquerades, and the really fancy nobility often host a lot of the actual Spirit Wardens who show up in costume like everybody else. Most people wear like a sort of costume version of the Spirit Warden's attire. So you don't know, like maybe some of these people are, and they just kind of say thanks guys, whoever you are, guys and ladies. Maybe some of you are here with us tonight, and we thank you for your service.
Did you ever read the Fractal Prince, I think it's called, or the Quantum Thief? There's a series of books. There's like some vigilantes on Mars that are very much like this in that, but obviously sci-fi. Yeah, it reminds me of that a lot. They're cool.
Cool. So knowing that, and Oscar's seen it in the flesh before. At least
oh my god, I'm just going to tell everybody that I'm a spirit warden, and they're going to believe me because they don't know who the spirit wardens are. It's going to be perfect.
And you just go, that's what spirit wardens do.
Secretly, like, just like, don't tell anybody, but let me tell you something. I'm a spirit warden.
Oh my god. On the DL.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, but
I'm a spirit warden, and my girlfriend's a Leviathan Hunter captain. You wouldn't know where she lives in.
Yeah, she lives on a boat.
She lives on a boat. So knowing this, the little brief I just gave you, have any of you decided to adapt your costumes to be spirit warden costumes, or are you going as sort of like, it's not required, like people have all kinds of fanciful masks and stuff?
So I think there's like a brief scene where Oscar is sitting in a room like looking very intense, and there's a whole bunch of masks on what looks like mannequin heads, and then he nods once and pulls one off, and there's an actual like face, like it's their actual heads.
Oh god, of course.
He takes the mask with them, and his mask actually isn't spirit warden based, but he's got like one of those raven shaped kind of plague doctor looking masks, and he's actually got a costume that's black with raven feathers. So he's actually calling out to the ravens that ring the crematorium that fly out over the bodies. So it's kind of spirit warden themed, but not exactly a spirit warden.
Yeah, you're a Death Seeker crow. Yeah, that's cool. That's
exactly what I am.
Totally appropriate for this kind of festival. Yes, that's a great costume.
Awesome. RC is not. We'll leave Cantor to be the looking like the official spirit warden or claiming to be.
Oh no, I was gonna say Cantor's mask is just his face. It's just a mask of his own very handsome face. Like I want to look. It looks as much like me as is possible in a mask form.
It's this like chiseled Greek god version of
yeah, totally. Face. It's just like a way overdone, super handsome version of his own face.
That's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you were like intense with the artist, and you're like, no, dude, no, my nose it's not like that.
Yeah, I don't look like that. Come on.
Get it right.
Oh, so good. Yeah, that's my plan.
All right. RC, what do you think?
That is awesome. Well, then, yeah, I'll go for it. I'll do the sort of the bronzed mask and make sure something that is not something she has to hold, so that her hands
it's actually
and it's attached. But just in case, she's wearing the dress that she's wearing is a red that's as close to the red sashes as she can match, because she has a feeling we're going to make enemies in this party, and she wants them to think they're not us. Because like, other times you want to like, hey, we were the 6 Stars gang. This is not one of those times. So,
all right,
just on red.
That's cool. Nobody here will recognize us unless they are also out of place.
Right. So she looks good in red.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you arrive, and the ceremonial guards kind of stare straight ahead and ignore you. There's a big carriage turnaround in front of the house with carriages that are pulled up. People have arrived a little ahead of you and are still arriving. And there's also behind the house you see these like tree lined.
So we're walking by these like other carriages. They're parked basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like like Sir Rolls of Royce and the House of Maserati and Lambo of Guinea. They're nice. So I guess that's the thing is like, is it obviously like a real? How fancy are we talking? Are we talking like
real
like hyper insane like Dubai rich, or are we talking like Hollywood rich, or like
the top cream of the crop of the city that go out in public to other people's events, because the real powerful people are having their own, like Dunville is making everyone come to his manor, so everyone who actually shows up is like below his tier. Everyone that's at his tier is having their own thing. But just below that, it would be like Yeah, I guess like Hollywood celebrity and not like
Oil
like,
baron.
yeah, not oil baron. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
We're not in the Imperial City.
Right. Right. Although it's funny because there a lot of the money, a lot of the like richest people are in Duskwall because they run the Leviathan Hunters, and that's where a lot of the money comes from. So, and a lot of those people do live in Imperial City too. But yeah, this is the nicest place you've ever been by a huge factor, Cantor. Even URC.
Wicked.
You went to Lord Keel's events, and they were not this nice. They were great, but not
Right.
and it's massive. There's huge double doors that are open. You get that tingle as underworld types. You just know like you're being observed in a very polite way that ordinary people wouldn't notice, but people are watching you. There's probably like some kind of security happening that isn't immediately apparent. Like even though you don't see anything, you just know like that your skin is itching a little bit. Like,
I think I have like a sort of second set of clamminess. There's that I'm a scoundrel being watched, and there's also that this is a life I tried to live once and it went really poorly. And so I just, even if I wasn't up to something, I would feel like I was up to something here. Like it feels more fake than just pretending to be.
Yeah.
Not doing a heist.
In fact, RC, why don't you roll survey for me?
Sure. Not so terrible at survey.
It's a dominant position. You're not risking anything right now. You're passing. You walk up, and there's a little tiny hint. Like one of the guys with the halberds, like actually kind of looks at you as you go by because no one else is just walking up to the party.
Yeah, we're Tom Cruise in fucking Eyes Wide Shut. We took a cab.
Yeah. It's a little strange, but it's like
your Fidelio.
You have your invitation. Oh yeah, I forgot to describe the invitation. It's actually this silver chain and this like amulet that were cast as gifts to the party goers. So Adam, you're wearing that. You're wearing this like big like engraved silver amulet.
Yeah, what up?
Yeah. So they see that and they don't say a word to you, but it's a little weird. And so you have a chance to walk past a bunch of the carriages that are parked up there. And I just want to see if anything kind of jumps out at you. You have some experience in this world, so let's
sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, RC's dress is sleeveless, and she has some scars on her shoulders and her arms, but it's dark out, and they're old and they've healed, and the color of the scars is not that much different than the color of her skin, but she on close inspection might not quite look right. So,
sleeveless dress? I thought we weren't bringing guns to this party, RC.
Hide them where I could in plain sight.
All right, so a dominant survey is what you're doing.
And I got Jack.
Got a 2?
Yeah, and 2.
Okay, so you can decide. You see the crests on the carriages, and they pass by. And as you're about to go through the front door, something in the back of your mind says, "Wait, was that That seemed familiar. What was that?"
Yeah.
If you want to just let it go and walk in and like not draw any attention to yourself, you can do that. Or if you want, you can like turn around like, nope, not yet, and go back and actually like look at the carriage and see what it was.
Sure.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to say...
Always a subtle move, the party horseshoe. They're like, hey, a party, never mind, be right back.
Yeah, right. I'm going to...
I think that'll require some risky finesse on your part. Or you can just be like, fuck it, I just do it. I don't care what they think. But if you want to be smooth about it, you can try a risky finesse roll to make it seem natural.
Yeah. Right. And then when you flub this roll, it's like you walk up and then just moonwalk away.
Yeah, a risky finesse roll is a risky thing indeed to do. But hey, that's what makes this fun, right?
I mean, if you want to try it a different way, I'm just suggesting that as your action. If you want to do something else, you could.
This is my plan, but it's probably going to be finesse. My plan was to drop something. I have a purse, I'm sure, and I'm going to pull a small mirror out of it to look at myself, and then when I go to, stop to do that, and when I go to put it back in, drop it, and then act as though I'm looking for it, like I can't find it in the dark.
Nice. That's totally finesse there. You're just being smooth and
being
natural action in the world.
Very, very smooth here. I'm being so smooth.
Let's not make any declarative statements. This is a role-playing game, after all.
All right.
There you go.
Look at that.
No, that's a 1.
Oh, you don't have finesse.
Right.
Welcome to the bad part. Okay, things go badly. What am I gonna do? Suffer harm, complication occurs, independent desperate position, loses opportunity for action. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the last one there, because the risk here is pretty slight. You do what you do and try to play it off, and you're most of the way through it, and you see out of the corner of your eye, there's a couple of guards that are hanging out, and coachmen. They're like waiting for the party to be over, like sitting on coaches, and then there's like a guard leaning up against one of the carriages, smoking a cigarette. I guess it's a coach, properly, not a carriage. But
I feel like that's like the first move you have to learn as a guard or a teamster or whatever. They'll lean and smoke. Like it's a classic.
Like day one. You don't even get hired if you can't lean and smoke.
Right.
See you lean. All right, can you smoke while you lean? All right.
Yeah,
No. All right, get out of here.
Give me a break.
Go back to guard school.
It's that Simpsons episode where Homer compares different. Have you ever tried one of these? And he like does the
the two with the teamsters. Exactly. It's crucial.
So, just as you're doing this, you see out of the corner of your eye, this guy like is walking towards you.
Yeah.
And is like smiling, and he looks like the people that you normally deal with. Like he's got a big scar down his face, and he's missing a tooth, and he's wearing this like stiff white collar and a bow tie that barely fits.
Yeah.
He's got bulges under his waistcoat,
Yeah.
But he walks up and he's like, let me give you a hand there, ma'am. And he sort of like takes you by the elbow to like lead you back away from the carriage. His little danger sense is going off. Like maybe you're trouble. He doesn't know. So he's just gonna, like lead you away. So the opportunity to be smooth here slips you by. If you want to try something else to like investigate the
it's all good.
on the carriages, you can, but otherwise you get rebuffed. Okay,
cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to cause trouble this early on in the.
And that's all that happens. So like, what really happens is like the three of you get up there. RC kind of takes a moment, and then when you look back, you see this guy kind of like moving up with her, and you're kind of brushing him off, maybe RC, or do you let him kind of take you all the way up to the door?
No, I'll totally since neither of the other people I walked with were willing to escort me, like a proper lady.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So you get there just in time, and the steward or the major domo of the Dunville house, he's really good. Like he steps up to announce you, and there's this little delay, and while that happens, he like adjusts his invitation sheet and his monocle, and takes a moment and just pulls his collar straight right when you get back as a group and are stepping through. Like nothing has happened. It's totally him just adjusting. Yes, perfect. And so Oscar, what's your title? What's your not your title, I guess, but like you're a noble. You're the only like real noble in the group here. So the invitation is probably in your name somehow, or it's like Cantor is like your guy, or I don't know how that worked out, but
sounds good. So I think we'll go with actually that. So one of the things that I'm guessing, so I'm just going to run with this for now unless you tell me otherwise. Do you know laws of succession or peerage? Because I'm going to assume British otherwise.
Yeah, I'm basically going with British. I'm trying not to nail that down too much. I think in Blades, people can handle it how they want.
I think that's fine. So I think what happened is like the Lord Skurlock, who's like the rank 3 vampire, he pretty much, when he was transitioning to vampire and all that scandal happened, it wasn't too recent, right? Like that was a while ago, yeah?
It was so long ago that people don't talk about it because he should have died like many centuries ago.
Exactly. So I think that the title passed on to the family. Like he doesn't have claim to the lands. So technically, my father and mother probably would have held the title.
Yeah.
And I think my father is dead and my mother is either living in the apartment that we have in Imperial City, the way that, nobility had like houses in London, in England for like the winter season or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's even in an asylum. But Oscar grew up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So Oscar grew up sort of in a house with it started out with servants, but I think that as things got stranger and creepier, like the servants started leaving. And then, like, over time, I'm sure that other nobility has seized claims and things like that because that's how Duskwall works.
Yeah.
So I think that what happened is that at the time that Oscar had to make some decisions, like, for example, about this gang, he realized that even though there's probably a few holdings still functioning, like we have, since Tara is a sea demon, I'm guessing that we actually have some coastal holdings, so we probably own some of the docks and get taxes from that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is enough that the property doesn't lapse, but there's no more than that. Like I can't live off of it, which is why my lifestyle is so low.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is I actually contain the title. Like if you actually look at the titular holdings, I would be Lord Skurlock because it would be my father, and I would have been Master Skurlock until I assumed the title. My mother can't hold it, although she would technically have lady, so I would be Lord Skurlock. My uncle's called that only because he's retaining it from customary rights from before. But
let's say that she is in an asylum. I think in the Imperium, I think the male-female distinction doesn't hold. So she could have had it, but she doesn't currently for some reason. Like maybe she's gone around the bend or something.
Indisposed.
Or she's indisposed. We don't know. We don't know what's happening.
Don't worry, Oscar. We remember your venerable house, opulent and imperial.
That's right.
You can see the signs of how it used to be.
I think I'm peerage, but I don't think I'm royalty. Like I'm not directly related to the emperor, right?
Correct.
Okay,
And
cool.
no one is really that part of it is confusing. But yes, Lord Skurlock, I think, is what they would call you. So I guess, do we want to say that you're escorted by? Are you going by your real names? It's Lord Skurlock and escorts Canterhague, or is it just Lord Skurlock and escorts? Or
I think it's going to be
Lord Skurlock and thugs, and etc.
I think and escort is probably fine for now. I'll let you guys pick out names. But
I mean, it could be vague. That would be fine.
I'm going to put a pin in this, but we should talk about public personas and the bank at some point. But that's when we talk business, probably in downtime. So.
Right. Yes, and I think there's been a little precedent for it where Oscar's been doing all his crime in a weird cape and hood and mask. So like stepping out here without you're still wearing a mask, but the Oscar Skurlock persona, I think, has not been connected to the crime at this point. So, that's good. Although you do know that like Lord Skurlock is a thing, and so the Major Domo checks the list twice. You see him do it. It's really subtle because he's very good at this. He's young. He's probably like 20, but he's just super polished. And he does a little double take and then announces Lord Skurlock, and like everyone in earshot like turns and looks.
Does anybody like cross themselves or like fucking give the
basically.
evil eye?
Make the sign against
Like,
the evil eye.
Lord Satan and friends.
Yeah, someone's monocle drops into their champagne.
Blink. Oh my.
I never.
Well, I would say they would be like, "Oh, it's not that Skurlock," but they don't know because you're in.
Well, you're not like 7 feet tall, so that's the first giveaway. But
Right.
But yeah, people do kind of stop and they're interested. So you have this moment, Cantor, where you're in your like baddest outfit of all time with a mask of your own face, and like
Like you did.
the creme de la creme of Duskwall's richest people, and look at their outfits, dude. Like you don't want to talk about aspirational. Look what these people are wearing. That is something to aim for. They look awesome. Their costumes are awesome. Their clothes are amazing. They have these awesome boots, and their shoes are clean. Like it's crazy. But you have this moment where they all pay attention to you and seem interested, and you can see them like thinking about like, oh, Lord Skurlock, who is this, and who's this? Who are these dashing people with him? And they're all like thinking about coming over to talk to you and stuff. So you just get this sense of like being put into this Shark Tank. Like they're all like, oh, Lord Skurlock, oh, interesting.
Nice.
There's a story here.
I assume that they're just paying attention to me.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. They've noticed how cool and handsome I am.
That's right.
I don't know.
You have a handsome mask of a face.
Yeah, I do. It's true. It's the handsomest mask here. And yeah, like I love it. Cantor's all about that attention. He's a sucker for it. So
so you see. So if you look at the image there, there's like a balcony or a staircase that goes up, and several, and then staircases in the back, and where that first landing is, it cuts up to the left and right onto those balconies. And looking down over the balcony, you see an Eruvian woman wearing her masquerade gown of purple Eruvian silk with a wide belt, and she's wearing a veil, and her hair's up in this like super crazy Queen Amidala thing happening, and her eyes are veiled. It's like a short veil. And you see her, she's talking to someone with a glass in her hand, and she glances like this and then stops and stares and leans forward, and you can tell from the body language and her face that it's Linnea.
Yes.
And she looks at the mask that looks just like your face. This is so funny because I was thinking like, how's Linnea gonna know?
Oh, she will know. Yeah, come on, that's the whole point.
And she just is like this. She's just staring, like.
Yeah, I definitely like take my hat off and I do like a huge, deep, dramatic bow and put it back on, and I can only assume her shocked look is from how ballin' I am, and not because I am wearing a mask that looks exactly like that. You see up there, she's with some other people, and they're talking, and she's just like not paying attention to them, and it's just staring. That's right.
Staring
they're chumps, and her boyfriend's here.
Yeah. So I forget, because we talked about last time that no one knows that you're dating her seriously and going after the romance, but do they even know that you are dating anybody at all, or have you told them anything about her?
I feel like I definitely wouldn't have said anything to Arcee, because Arcee's a hoe and I don't like her. And Oscar and I don't really talk, so, and plus also if I told Arcee, she'd get all weird and jealous and then probably want to fight my girlfriend. It'd be this
probably
thing,
yeah.
Seems likely.
She's so into you.
Yeah. So I just, for her own sake, I kept that from her.
Right. Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah, I know, right? Cantor's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Is Linnea's mask like suitably insubstantial that she's identifiable? Like, can you tell who she is? Because some people wear masks that are like clearly like, oh, there's a mask, but it's not really.
She's wearing a veil, and she's dressed like super Eruvian style, and you can tell like by her skin tone and her hair and everything that she's Eruvian, and so she's doing the Eruvian masquerade, like the Northerners like their bird masks and stuff, but she's like, no, this is my tradition. Like I'm wearing a veil, and So if you knew her and you were like face to face, you'd totally recognize her. Yeah.
Well, so that's my question: is would I know her? She's a captain, but she
is a Leviathan Hunter captain. Yeah, that is true. You've been gone for 2 years. Did we just establish that?
I think I've been gone for a year.
1 year. Oh, then yeah, you definitely know her. Yes.
Okay.
Arcee does have consort. Just saying.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how to mingle.
You recognize her and the person that she's talking to. Let me pull that up. There are other people in that group. One of them is Captain Dunville, the son of Lord Dunville, whose home this is. He has like like an opera glasses style mask, like a mask with on a little stick.
God, that would be so
domino
tedious.
mask.
And he's the son of the host, so he's not masked, so like people can know that it's him because it's his party, kind of.
Right.
So he's sort of gesturing with the mask and talking, and he's about Arcee's age. He's very, dashing, athletic-looking Acarosian, sort of olive skin, black hair, long in a ponytail with a big beard. But he has the little creases and the salt-worn face of a Leviathan captain. And he's the one talking to Linnea while she ignores him. And then just beyond that is someone in a wheelchair that you can't really see super well because of the balcony.
Yeah.
But they're in very, very old-fashioned sort of tuxedo kind of suit that looks really out of date, like 20 years out of date, and with plain sort of harlequin mask. And they have an attendant behind them. They're like steward who's pushing the chair, and they're lolled forward in the chair. And it's just, you get a weird vibe from that figure, RC.
Okay.
You can't really make out who it is, but it just puts a chill up your spine.
A weird vibe, like I should know this person. We might be connected. I may have met them before. Or a weird vibe, like somebody should roll a tune. Because those are both weird vibes.
Both of those are true.
Yeah. So not realizing the cantor is recognizing this person, not realizing any connection to cantor, or she will just like gesture in their direction and say that those are Leviathan hunter captains, and so we should stay clear. So
you explain to cantor.
Yeah, you're like those are Leviathan. So when you say those are Leviathan hunter captains, I'm like, yeah, no shit.
So we should stay clear.
No. I'm like, I'm not even looking at you. I'm like, I'm gonna be right back, and just like gesturing, and you're like kind of at you, like I have to go, and I'm heading that way.
You're going up the stairs.
Yeah, totally.
And so it's like the most direct, obvious route, because
right
it's
through the middle of the
main
room.
staircase, and a few people like approach, and the cues are different in high society that someone wants to talk to you. Like no one like grabs you by the lapels and throws you on the ground or anything. Right. So several people like do the thing where they're going, and you like go right past them, and that happens.
Or they get an up nod, or like what?
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, I see you.
Like 3 times on the way to the stairs. Can you roll consort, Adam? Let's just see.
Dare I do such a thing? All right.
This is a dominant position, so this is less about what you're doing on purpose and more of just.
I have that. I can roll it.
I could see finesse up here too if you would rather do finesse.
Either one.
This is just what happens in Cantor's wake, like without trying.
Because really, what I feel like it could go either way, right? It could be like, who's that boorish man, or it could be like, ooh, what a mysterious boor.
How interesting. Yeah,
how
exactly.
gauche. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. You got a devil's bargain for me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love those. I do love the devil.
Yeah,
it's a good one. The most obvious one to me is that Linnea is sort of complicit in whatever result you get.
She's
meaning that if you go up there and make an ass out of yourself, you've made an ass out of her too.
Yeah, I want it.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Okay, I'm doing it. So I get 2 dice.
Sean Nittner knows how to bargain.
Yes. My role-playing skills.
Boom!
Like the die is cocked.
I'm all over it.
Come on, you only need 1 die. Don't be so greedy.
Using up all the good rolls.
Yeah.
Nice. Dominant 6. So yeah, you guys watched it happen. You watched Cantor just rebuff everyone on the way up the stairs. then you see the backs of their heads as they're like, oh my, and then they all turn back to their conversations, and it's all like,
I love how suddenly the party is full of C-3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar could hear RC's teeth grinding behind her mask.
Cool.
Nice. So yeah, you get up there, and there are like 12 new people that can't wait to get to the bottom of this mysterious stranger. So yeah, let's cut into your getting into that conversation, because I want to see how you enter. But just before that, what are the two of you doing? It's clear Oscar, and actually both of you know this, unlike Cantor. This is there's a formal beginning to these types of things. It's not just show up and mingle. Like, something's going to happen, the host is going to do a thing, and then the party starts and you kind of mingle around. So right now people are sort of waiting in their groups that they came with, and getting served a drink. There's no food out yet or anything.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to ring a gong or something, and then an event will occur.
I'm going to suggest that we find an appropriate place for the introductory. Like, everyone's going to be standing around in their milling groups, and I think, like, where you're standing, proximity is important. I assume that, like, in this picture, that landing or the balcony or something is where an announcement's going to be made. So I'm going to gesture to Oscar that we should find an appropriate place, but what I mean by appropriate place is a place we can survey.
It's like away from there.
Well, I'm thinking up on the balcony. I'm sure there's a lot of people up there as well.
Maybe from the point of view of this painting, kind of.
From the point of view of this painting would be ideal.
Okay.
And I would like to be able to get a better look at that gentleman in the wheelchair without messing up Cantor's vibe and just walking up, as he might be like.
Actually, Oscar nods and then says, let me take the lead. You watch. I got this covered. So he's actually gonna put his noble on, and there's a little bit of he has like fancy shoes that go with the costume. They're like the tops and like down to the toes are painted to look like crow's feet, but he actually has like a heel. Like, it's a very kind of, if you want to think about it, kind of like a Renaissance era, like, high heel, but it's painted the same color as the floor so that it kind of blends in and it looks like he's walking on crow's feet. So he actually takes the time to like make the noises. He's like walking up the staircase, there's the click-a-clack. And as he'll approach, he'll gesture with his hands, and that's where like the feathers will actually like flow out a little bit like wings, but what he's doing mostly is keeping eyes on him so that RC can observe without people being like, wait, aren't you? So, that's what I'm doing. And, just, oh, pleased to meet your acquaintance, like, I don't believe we've met before, that sort of thing. Like, very...
Yeah, totally.
Sounds like we're doing a team action.
I think so.
Teamwork, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're setting me up to survey, I think.
That is exactly what I'm trying to do here.
I'm liking it.
With some consorting.
Yeah. Consort for the setup. That sounds perfect. Once again, you are enjoying a dominant position right now. Nothing about this is perilous for you at the moment. So,
And RC, as much as she doesn't like it, has done this before. She's been to big fancy parties. Not this fancy, but certainly fancy enough. So she's doing her best until we get in a position to blend in.
All right, so I have one die for this, so I'm just gonna roll it and see what happens.
Yeah, so what we can get fancy with the mechanics here if you want.
No, then I'm good. If you just want to role play right through it, I'm okay with that too.
Well, also, like, your RC's benefiting from the roll, so you can both roll consort and take the higher.
Sure.
And then you'll take stress if you.
That actually sounds good. So let's teamwork this.
And that way, like, it'll apply to both of you, and we'll set up RC as well. So it'll be like a double whammy.
All right, you're leading it.
Hey, good so far.
Hey, even better.
Ooh, nice teamwork and no stress.
Yes, good job, team.
We're actually like good at this social thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're a noble, and I've been married to one for a little while, so yeah.
So it goes exactly the way you said. You'd say just the right pleasantry that doesn't break your stride and doesn't isn't rude, you know. So you can just go up the stairs at a nice pace and actually, oh yes, how do you do? Da-da-da-da-da. Straight up. And this position, this point of view of this painting here, is not, people don't really want to be there. Like the closer in, there's that hierarchy thing, right? Like you want, if you're closer to the action, you're kind of more important theoretically. So people don't jockey to fight you for this spot when you get back to your vantage point, without drawing any undue attention and saying some pleasantries along the way. Do you introduce yourself, Oscar, or do you just remain masked and like anonymous?
I think that enough people noted who I was introduced as,
Yeah.
and my costume is distinctive enough that
you're the only Death Seeker crow here. Yes.
I think I am I'm not introducing myself to keep the masquerade, but I clearly know that they know who's talking to them. So, I will keep up the charade because that's what's expected at a party like this. But yeah, they know who I am.
Cool. Also, Oscar, will you roll a tune for me?
Hell yeah, I will.
This
is where the party's at.
Another dominant roll, please.
Oh my!
Oh,
Just blowing it out of the water.
I think
Oscar, be creepy. Check.
Yeah, done.
Boom.
Fucking
So
settled.
you get into position, and your whole being like snaps over to the like far back. There's a set of staircases in the back of the room there.
yeah. See, I'm just barely in the corner of this image.
From the middle landing, there's like 1, 2, 3 landings up. There's a light burning up in the corner there, like the topmost light in the painting. On that landing is a very tall person in some sort of long dark crimson coat and a hood and a tight mask on the face, stooped over to look 6'5", with their back to you, and standing next to him is a young woman, straight raven hair, no mask, but she's like blacked out her eyes like Pris from Blade Runner.
Nice.
Her costume is like really choice. She's like dressed as it would look to us like a Hellenistic period spirit hunter, like from just before the Spirit Wardens were founded. This kind of historian's nod to the
Nice.
to the ghost and they were devil hunters, is what they were called back then. Devil in this setting, we've never talked about this. Devil is like the catch-all term for demons and ghosts and stuff. And so she kind of looks like Xena, sort of. She's wearing this like warrior outfit, and she has a costume, sword, and it's Satara.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Like in the flesh?
Yeah, it's her. She's.
I'm morbidly curious. Is the red clothed figure next to her giving off any Skurlock vibes?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's totally Skurlock. Come on.
He
Stooping
really
over to be 6'5"? Yeah.
No one.
It's going to be a hilarious party, and I'm curious what name he's going under.
No one's up on the landing with them, and no one's paying any attention to them at all. It's like they're not there. But when you step over and look, you got a crit, so like she doesn't notice you.
Nice.
But you can see, and because you're connected to her, and because of this relationship, you don't quite see through the illusion perfectly, but you can see that it's her. Like with up close and doing something a little magical, you might be able to like see her real form, but that this is a glamour that she's put on.
Nice.
But you would expect her, like, and this is what I was about to say, is that she was always already watching you, but you critted, and like you've flown under the radar right now, and she doesn't know you're there.
All right.
Yeah.
This is both a little scary because right now we have dominant position, but it might also be an opportunity to talk to Lord Skurlock and be like, why are you building pools in our basement? So, we'll see.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I assume Arcee doesn't notice this at all. She has no
No.
attention.
I think
When you follow Oscar's gaze, you don't see anybody. There's nobody over there.
Yeah.
I think Oscar will find a moment when we're being served a drink and just having a moment between us, where he'll actually bring that up to you.
You're gonna say what you saw.
Yes, and like I'm drinking carefully, like just like a sip under the mask, but I'm like turning away from them and like just I'll mention it.
You glance back, Sean and RC. Like you can see there's one figure, like someone kind of hunched there. They look like a servant or something, maybe. Maybe they're just like waiting to open a door or something like that. But it doesn't look terribly interesting to you. Like there's no. Like, even when Oscar says like that's Lord Skurlock, do you say it's Ansatara the demon? Do you say that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because speaking her name would definitely break the.
Yeah, she would notice.
But you try to convey the situation to
what I will tell RC is that he came armed, and I say it in that like I'm looking for an appropriate word, but to Oscar that means some sort of magical way.
I would say, Sean, unless you want RC to like because of Oscar's leverage here, you can roll to resist the illusion if you want.
No, it's fine.
If you don't resist it, then what he's saying holds no interest to you whatsoever. Like it's like a super boring story that he's telling you that you don't care.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I.
It's a little risky.
I don't want to resist it. I'd be resisting with resolve.
Yeah. Well, you could resist with insight on this actually, if you wanted.
Nah, you know what? It's the same no matter what. So I mean, I have. So like, I wouldn't plan to do anything there, but oh fuck it, let's do it.
Oh boy! All right. I'm gonna invoke GM privilege, and I'm gonna give you a bonus effect from Oscar's crit.
Oh, nice. I'll take that. Is that an extra dime? Is that a plus?
I'll just give you +1 effect, so one less stress.
Bumps you up a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I would take 2 stress. So I'm gonna take 1 stress then.
You will take 1. Yes.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And you are able to. You don't see through the illusion in the like magical sense, but you're able to like pay attention and go, oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
There's a woman there dressed in ancient garb and some other person, and you're telling me that's Lord Skurlock. Got it.
Yeah.
The glamour doesn't cloud your mind and make you ignore Oscar. Get it.
So RC has this kind of territorial streak of nobody takes from us, and like he's trying to take from us. He clearly has gone in and like messed with. I mean, she doesn't like Skurlock to begin with.
Yeah,
but,
who does?
But she looks to him. She looks to Oscar and she's like, "So are you just gonna continue to let him take from us, or are you gonna do something about it?"
I think what Oscar is going to say is, I don't know if he's interfering with our job here, and this may not be the place to start a fight.
Shots.
Meanwhile, Cantor's starting a fight.
Yeah. So okay,
I've got bigger fish to fry. Like I'm going to turn my gaze and we can cut to Cantor, because I got something else to look for, but it's only because there's a distraction.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you guys want to take a break now and then?
Yeah, that's probably a good time.
Or do you want to do your thing? Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do our first break.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's take 5 and we'll come back, and then I can ruin everybody's fun at the party.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I got
whatever
good,
Adam says next is gonna really punctuate.
I got some good momentum, so I'm gonna try and carry it through to additional success. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back.